Good morning. It is 5:46 a.m. on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. It's early. I'm a bit more awake than usual, partly because I don't know, I guess I got a bunch of sleep during over the weekend, so that helps. I needed to get up early to finish the testing, and I had a little bit of anxiety dreaming about it. It wasn't too bad. It was just basically the sort of dream where you're trying to get to somewhere and things just keep going wrong. And in this particular dream, one of the things that was going wrong is I kept trying to check my phone to look at things like bus schedules and calendars and stuff like that, because and it was just my phone wasn't working right and I couldn't figure it out. And of course, it's a little bit like how I've talked about when you get video game dreams, they don't work right because your brain is not used to actually doing that part, right? Like it's used to the game knowing itself what to do, and you just react to it, whereas in the dream it suddenly has to find itself playing the other side also, and it says, but I don't know how to do that. And just laughing because all of a sudden I'm imagining the cartoon version of my dream, of my brain being all embarrassed. Anyway, yesterday I played a game. Uh, you don't know what that look means yet. The game is called There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension. And the reason, so now you have a better understanding of why when I play the game. The gimmick of this game is that you log on and are immediately presented with a voice and a title screen that says, "Go away. There is no game. Just close it." You know, you've bought something that's not a game. There is no game to play. Go away. But it's a little bit like what it makes me think of is this old Sesame Street Grover book called The Monster at the End of This Book, where the whole book is Grover talking to you, the reader, begging you not to keep turning pages because there's a monster at the end of the book. It says so in the title. And so, like, the gimmick is that he keeps doing all of these things to try to keep you from turning the pages, but of course you just keep turning the pages because it's just a book. And then I won't spoil the surprise in that book, but it's pretty great. But in any case, this one goes places. It starts as something that you might imagine as just kind of like a mobile phone puzzle game. I played it on Steam, but I believe, excuse me, I believe that it is available on phones. But where what happens is that you just kind of keep clicking with the mouse to knock on the door and get him to keep talking, and then you start, he'll there'll be a button to start, and he's like, but no, but don't press it, and all of a sudden it'll put this big steel plate over it, and then you kind of keep clicking around, and then all of a sudden you know various things will start to change, and you just kind of are increasingly solving these little puzzles in order to try to progress, despite this voiceover narration telling you you're wasting your time, there is no game, what are you doing, this is craziness. But the joy of that game is not just in the puzzles and that fun little gimmick to begin with. The joy is in where it goes, and in particular that wrong dimension element. Like once you get through that first chapter, which is more or less kind of as I was described, all of a sudden you start meeting these other characters. Like there's Mr. Glitch, and you and the game, and start getting zipped through other dimensions and landing in other games. And so there's a bit that's like a LucasArts point and click adventure game, and then there's a game that's a bit like Legend of Zelda, um, Link to the Past, and uh, just all of a sudden, you are still solving all of these little puzzles using lateral thinking, but just the way it keeps expanding its scope and changing up what it is that you're trying to do is really pretty amazing, and it's cheap, so I recommend it. I thumbs up from Christiana. And also yesterday I watched The Spy Who Loved Me, which is one of the James Bond movies that Mike and I are watching for our Bond versus Mission Impossible comparison. And it's pretty good as 70s cheeseball Bond, and I liked it. But I pointed this out on like Twitter and Facebook last night. But the Carly Simon song "Nobody Does It Better," I feel like is a terrible Bond song. Like, it's fine as a song, but it's all sappy and like saccharine and stuff. It's not like dangerous at all. Like, it just doesn't feel right for Bond at all to me. I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this one, but it just felt like, maybe part of what it is that, like, when I was a kid, there's a grocery store chain called Safeway that used that as their commercial jingle in, like, the 90s. And that's still what that song means in my head. So maybe that's part of the problem, too. Anyway, I have to go to work, so I will leave it here, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.